Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Micaela. How are you?
Afternoon po.
Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to our week 7. How are you? Oh, today is the last day for 115. There are only 4 that have taken the exam out of how many are you? All in all, 15 students. Ayan. So, by the way, sa 113, I already finished the entire chapter. We will move on, jump to another session. I think I'll be announcing the next topic by during the chat siguro. I'll just chat. Regarding your prelim exam, I will declare it now. No, I'm thinking, no, because I prepared to, no, perhaps ano ba yung you already submitted the multiples of 5, am I right?
Opo.
Am I right? No, so from so I will just create a form. I will no longer require a multiple choice exam, but again, out of the exercises there, sige, let's preview no para makita natin. Your father came from Davao, am I right? Micaela?
Opo.
Pala, no? So anyway, that's why you missed the class last time. Same as true with Acel. So I'm in the monologue at that time. So I'm talking to myself. Sabihin. Monologue. Anyway, I'll be uploading the record. I have not uploaded the recorded, but it's there on the YouTube channel. No? Sige, let's scan first. We will finalize your prelim examination to be submitted on March 9. This will be submitted March 9. Let me check my files. Ano na nga bang schedule natin, Micaela, sa ano? Magkakaroon tayo ng rescheduling kasi because of the Holy Week, no, sa 115. No, kasi walang pa ng Friday. That's a Good Friday, no? So I might reschedule. And of course, yung the giving, perhaps this Friday, tomorrow, I'll be giving the new assignments for you. Di ba I announced that you will have another assignment, no? Aside from the one that was given to you, I'll be giving another assigned module. And then hopefully, kasi doon nga sa Sabado, 2 Sabado sila walang klase because of araw ng kagitingan saka Black Saturday. So yung ating yung other 115 class. Alright, let me check my files first, no? Yung problem solving, madali lang, ha? You could, ano na yun, pwede mo nang simulan yung problem solving. I just uploaded the problem solving a while ago. It's also deadline on March 9. So anyway, but for this, I'm contemplating and I finally decided just to choose from the exercises the prelim examination. So I will di ko lang starting from lecture 1.0 siguro. Ilang items yung nasolve mo dito, Micaela, sa 1.0? So how many items to? Hanggang 37. So 7 items. Did you solve 7 items? Since your
Opo,
answer required
yata.
only for multiples of 5, no? So 5, 10, 15 hanggang 35. That's the last item. That's why on top of the so I'll just be getting on the same material, this time starting from module 1.1-0, not anymore 0-1, no? So you'll be assigned additional exercise here, this time multiple of 7. So kung multiple of 7, excluding the one that is also multiples of 5. Kasi na-solve mo na yung multiple of 5 na multiple of 7, which is 35. So excluding 35, so ilan na lang siya? 4 na items dito. So 7, 14, 21, 28. So that's part of your prelim examination. Okay, then you will submit it that to the form that I'll be creating, or I'll just edit the form na hindi ko pa ina-update ngayon. Still on the update mode. So for 1.1-0, 7 multiples of 7. Not so sure if some had been solved, never mind. So kung na-solve natin yung iba, okay na yun, bonus na yun. For 1-1, 1-1, no? So exercises up to 40. Okay, so dito naman multiples of 8 except 40. Multiples of 8. Who's your classmate here? Dale, no? Kayong dalawa ni Dale, tama ba?
Opo.
Sayang, si Dale, hindi nagpapakita eh. May traso pa sa akin sa research in mathematics eh. Kasi ang research hindi uusad kapag walang output ang estudyante. It's not the professor that will write the research for the student. Definitely not. So, yan yung magiging problema ni Dale sooner or later. Hindi siya makakasunod. Though we already set deadlines, no? For specific chapters of a research work. So, for 1-1, section 1, no? So, I'll require here multiples of 8 except 40. Okay? Make sense, Michaela? 1-1.
Sa exam po.
That will be included in the exam. I will no longer any multiple choice. So this will be your prelim exam to be submitted on the forms that I will be uploading sooner or later. So the deadline is March 8th next week. So for 2-2,
Ano po yung una, sir? 1-0.
1-0. Wag na yung 0-1, 1-0 ka na.
Ano pong items po ulit dun?
Multiples of 7 except for 35. 1-1, multiples of 8 except 40. Eto, 30. 30. Kung 30, multiples of 6 except for 30. Multiples of 6 except for 30. So, 4 din. Okay, I hope Dale will be getting the recording, or perhaps you could chat Dale. That would be your prelim exam to be submitted March 8th. It will be uploaded on the forms that I'll be creating on the posting on the prelim examination. Anyway, blanco pa yun, hindi pa ako nag-upload ng forms. Okay? Kopya, Michaela?
Opo, sir.
Okay, so let's go now to our new topic, which is 1-2. 1-3, rather. 1-3. Okay. Okay. So we'll no longer hindi tayo makakagamit ng though may pwedeng gumamit ng MATLAB talaga in some topics of abstract algebra. No, we could always. So dito ko na lang siya ilalagay dun sa prelim examination. So though wala pa siyang form na nakalagay dito, so yeah, I'll be uploading it here. Perhaps next week na. So gawin niyo na lang muna yung remaining exercises diyan. And then the midterm final, siguro ganun din na rin yung magiging pattern, no? So there are items that will be part of your take home activity, your offline activity, and that will be part of the exam. So i-specify ko na siya agad ahead of time. Now by midterm and finals. So later on, as we solve exercises on 1-3, so I will already specify which will be your take-home or offline activity and which is the examination, part of the examination. So, ganun na lang siguro yung gagawin natin. Alright? Sige, let's open a word of prayer. You just chat with Dale, no? Doon sa requirement natin. Hindi ko na siya i-assign sa hindi ko na siya i-chat sa group natin. You just tell him the requirements for the prelim. Alright. Sige, let's open in prayer. Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. Thank you for the opportunity where we could continue our discussion here on abstract algebra. I pray, Lord, for your mercy and grace. Bless us, Lord, with your wisdom that glorifies your name, and the wisdom that would continually make us more holy and more in the likeness of the Lord Jesus Christ by your grace. At the same time, we're also asking for the appropriate understanding of this course, though this course is more on conceptual, theoretical, though it has also its practical application, Lord, in more on the scientific and technological field as well. But as math teachers, we may appreciate more of its application, and that we may direct our student to this appreciation so that by themselves, that they may also make use of the concepts of this course in abstract algebra, particularly these groups and isomorphism and other concepts that are somewhat theoretical to others, but for us, it has its practical realities as well. We thank you, Lord. We honor you. This is our prayer in Christ's name. Amen. Okay, 1-3, no? Yung isomorphism from the word iso. Later on, we will be answering some exercise. So by the time, I will already declare which among of these are part of the offline activity, which is part of the exam. So yun yung magiging natin. Do you plan to take the 115, Michaela?
Ngayong hapon.
Ngayong hapon, after the class. Or you want it now?
Pwede rin naman po.
Pwede rin. Sige, dalian ko to. Anyway, so I'm planning to introduce the topic. Kasi magagahol kayo kasi yung iba, sabi ko nga, 3 pa lang nag-e-exam 3 pa lang. O pang-4 pa lang si Ma'am Leonila. So I'm not so sure if he's already, by the way, no? So far the highest score so far 620 out of 700. So that's the highest so far among the takers of the examination. Let me check on my forms. Ayan, si D nandito na 3 pa lang. Si John Howell, pinag-trial ko si John Howell Ayan, pinag-trial ko siya. So far 4. So wala pa yung iba. Si Ma'am Leonila is still working on his anyway, mamaya mache-check ko na agad yan. Alright. So we have here, the name suggests a mapping with preserved structure, no? So isomorphism ang tawag dyan. In a graph, the structure is connectedness. So their connection with the group, as far as its operation is concerned, the plus operation is connected to the asterisk operation here, and it's somewhat related to one another. And the structure is given by a binary operation. So notice the structure of operation or positive operation. These are binary operations 0, 1, 2. In the same structure as the asterisk operation, ABC, can be seen by replacing 0, 1, 2, and ABC respectively, and that corresponds to the operation of positive or addition and the asterisk operation. Then any equation involving this first table yields an equation involving the second, vice versa. So the only difference in the binary operation plus and the asterisk is in one notation. So So the first and the second table represent isomorphic binary operation. So they're isomorphic in the sense of the correspondence of the element as well as the correspondence in the binary operation per se. This is more of an isomorphic of binary operation. However, the third table is fundamentally different. If you look carefully, the occurrences of y's and z are somewhat irregular compared to the first two table. So in it, the binary operation may apply to pair of the same elements yields that element. So this is an idempotent binary operation. An idempotent binary operation. No? So this is not the case for the first two. No? So the positive, the prime of the operation asterisk is not isomorphic. No, no, hindi siya isomorphic. No, yung asterisk prime ay hindi siya isomorphic doon sa positive and asterisk. Okay, so that's isomorphism. Being isomorphic equation. So definition, the binary algebraic structure in an ordered pair S asterisk, where S is the set and asterisk is the binary operation on S. So there are three conditions that we need to identify whether this would be isomorphism for the function S prime, such that let S and asterisk and S prime and asterisk prime be binary algebraic structure. Excuse me po. Ayan. So we have here an one-to-one function P mapping of S onto S prime. Now, so there is an onto and one-to-one correspondence, and then at the same time there is isomorphic binary operation. If we will compare, such that the function or the P of X asterisk Y is equal to P of X prime asterisk prime P of Y. So nagkakaroon ng ganun, no? For all X, Y, and XY element of S. Then we say that S and S prime are isomorphic binaries denoted as S isomorphic S prime. So yun yung magiging condition niya. So there is this onto function. And of course, there are correspondence, one-to-one correspondence, onto function, one-to-one. And then onto, at the same time, yung binary operation which is isomorphic. So yung tatlong bagay na titingnan natin dyan. In the setting as well as others, isomorphism is called one-to-one and onto, which preserves the structure. In the binary algebraic structure, the structure is a binary operation. So just like the positive or the addition and the asterisk operation. In a vector space, the structure is vector addition and scalar multiplication. So yan yung correspondence sa vector analysis. In a graph, the structure is connectivity. Yan, there are connectivity as far as structure is concerned. Now we have sample here, then later we will be perhaps solving some exercises here, no? In terms of, yan, pwede natin masolve to. So binagad, pagka-solve, then I'll be assigning your offline activity and the part of the midterm examination. So ganun na agad para mas mahaba yung preparation. Saglit lang, Micaela. Saglit, wait for a while. Okay, I'm back. So for instance, in this example here, in example above, isomorphism between the first and second binary structure is explicitly given as P of 0 is equal to 1, and P of 1 is equal to B, and P of 2 is equal to C. So there's this correspondence, no? Then you can confirm from the table that P of X X plus Y is equal to P of X asterisk P of Y, or times P of Y for all value of XY element of 0, 1, 2. So for instance, if you have P of 0 plus 1, that will be P of 1, which is equal to B, which is by definition. No? So P of 0 times P of 1 would be equal to A times B, which is equal to B. And hence, it follows that P of 0 plus 1 is equal to P of 0 plus or asterisk P of 1. So there is this transitive property that you equate one to another and the other is equated to another. So therefore, so if A equal to B and B is equal to C, then A is equal to C. That is what happened here on this scenario. So we have equated. We have this assumption here. Okay, we have that assumption. So, tingnan muna natin ano yung ibig sabihin ng P of X plus Y such that you have 0 plus 1. Then, of course, you have P of 1, which is equal to B by definition. And then you have Q of 0, or P of 0 is equal to 1, or A rather. And then P of 1 is equal to B. And A asterisk B is equal to B. Then, both are equal. So, nagkaroon ka ng transitivity rule dyan eh. Okay, so this is a more practical question. How to show that binary structures are isomorphic? Supposing you have a function S and you have a binary operation asterisk. And you have S prime and asterisk prime. These are binary algebraic structure. to show their isomorphic with isomorphism P. So this is your P, o yung magta-transform from S to S prime. So there must be a definition, you must define the connectivity of S and S prime, and you should show it's one-on-one, one-to-one correspondence, and there is onto. P is an onto. And then lastly, you need to show, okay, you need to show here this operation. All right. So P of X asterisk Y now would be equal to P of X asterisk prime P of Y, where X and Y are element of X. The text calls this part as homomorphism property. So number 4 is what we call homomorphism property. Now let's look another example. So Micaela, I suggest you read ahead, no? So yung corresponding lecture notes nito, yung module, na ganito rin yung title, 1-3, and mas ano yun, siyempre mas detailed yun. This is just a mere slides for appropriate for that chapter. Okay, so also we need to look into samples. This time consider R, or real numbers, with a plus operation, and a positive real number with a dot operation. Okay, with the dot operation here. So we define P such that your R corresponds to R, or the real R positive, which is your real numbers, positive real numbers, as P of X defines or equal to E of X. So there's a definition of function here. P of X is equal to E of X. Now, if P of X is equal to P of Y, then it follows that E of X is equal to E of Y. So the ln of E raised to X is equal to ln of E raised to Y, then X equal to Y, and so P is 1:1. So there is a 1:1 correspondence as far as the P is concerned. So check na yung 1-to-1. So apat yung tinitingnan natin dyan. So yung definition, yung 1-to-1, yung onto, saka yung homomorphism property na tinitingnan din natin. Now, the next one here, if R is an element of the positive real numbers, then it follows that P of ln of R, or equivalent to E raised to ln of R, is equal to R, and P is onto. So there is this, that is R is an element of positive real numbers. So there's, ang lumabas doon na R is still part of that R positive number, is an image of ln of R under P operation. So there must be, it must be onto, since R is part of that real positive real number. And of course, the homomorphism property for all X and R such that P is equal to X plus R, which is equal to E raised to X plus Y, would be equal to E raised to X, Y raised to X. That is P of X, P of Y. O, diba? Sounds familiar, no? So before, it's just P of X plus Y, that is E raised to X plus Y. Then by virtue of the property, yung property niya, nagkaroon tayo ng E raised to X, E raised to Y. So this is a homomorphism property. Okay, so that would define now the isomorphic structure. Now, of course, now again, how to prove that? Number one, the definition of the P. There's an existing P, or correlation between the two functions R and R plus, and then you have the 1-to-1 correspondence, and then you have the onto, and lastly, you have the homomorphism property. So this would coincide with your isomorphic function or binary structure. Okay, make sense, Micaela? So yan lang yung apat na tatandaan natin dyan. Yan, apat. So anyway, so in your notes, you could always read that. So that P of x is equal to E of x is an isomorphism. And we could say that R and a plus, this is your function and your operation, is equal to R plus, which is the positive real number, and the mathematical operation. In this case, is multiplication. Notice we could have defined P in the previous example in a general term, P of x equal to a raised to x for any a greater than x, and a should not be equal to 0. Of course, that could be defined more general because E is more specific. Since E is an Euler's number that corresponds to 2.71, etc., it's an irrational number. So it's an specific constant. But it could be generalized into instead of E or A. So mas general yung sagot doon. Alright? Now, we could define here some structural property of binary structure, S and this asterisk operation or multiplication is a property shared by binary structure, now, which is isomorphic. Now, for the example of e raised to x, it's positive and multiplication. E raised to x plus y is equal to e raised to x times e raised to y. So, totoo yung homomorphism dun eh. Homomorphism. Acknowledging Sir John Music on our YouTube channel. Salamat, Sir John. Thank you for dropping by on our YouTube channel. Yan. Okay. So, example here of structural properties are the number of elements of S. Okay, thank you, Sir John Music. Thank you for your time. Thank you for dropping by. And thank you for your support. So later on, merong live stream si Ma'am Rosel Rago, sir. So let's support Ma'am Rosel later. Yan. Of course, the commutativity of the operation asterisk operation, it's associativity. And based on the operation, there is idempotent, meaning identity operation in a sense, because x asterisk x equal to x for all values, for all x element of S. And equation A times x is equal to B has a solution x, which is element of S, for all A and B. This means that the row of the table for this operation asterisk each contain all elements of S. Okay, let's look at sample problem here. Are still there, Micaela? Okay, sige, narinig pa kita. Okay na. Kala ko nag-exam ka na, hindi, joke lang. Okay, so let's answer some questions here. Can you see the exercise number 3? Medyo visible naman, no? Visible siya. Napalakihan ko ng konti.
Okay lang.
Okay lang. Sige. So let's discuss the by answering some of the exercises. I hope Dale would catch up. May ano ba si Dale? Dalawa lang naman si Dale, connectivity o issue or ministry activity, no? Teka, Micaela, Paano pala 'yan kapag face to face pa? Anong nangyari? So literally absent ang estudyante? Pag may gano'n?
Si Dale po?
O kunyari si Dale, merong mission sa Bella, hindi papasok? Gano'n?
Hindi po, nagdo-dorm po siya sa Bethany ng 1 week po.
So walang lusot, no?
Pupunta
Wala
po
pala.
talaga siya
So
sa
dorm boy
Bethany.
pala siya. Mga sila, boys and girls sila doon sa Bethany.
Tapos uwian po siya every week.
Okay. So mas limited pa lang ministry niya kapag nandyan sa Bethany, no?
Opo. Tsaka kahit po nasa Bethany siya, minsan po, parang pag kailangan po siya ng tatay na pinapauwi rin po siya ng maaga.
Pinapauwi rin niya sa Bella.
Saturday po. May klase
Saturday.
po kami ng Saturday. After po nun, tatakbo na siya sa bus station. Tapos pagdating ng Monday, Sunday, saka po babayahe po ulit siya.
Biyahe na naman. Pagod pala, no? Mas pagod yun, no? Yun lang, ang tendency nitong online, mas madaling makawala, di ba? So, alam ko naman na valid yung mga, so hindi na rin siya nagiging, anyway, so ganun talaga. Since we are a Christian college, we could always cater to this type of situation. But mind you, in the university, this is no. This cannot be, baka sabihan ka pa ng professor doon. Sige, kumuha ka ng class card dyan sa tatay mo. O, di ba? Masama, pangit, di ba? Pero totoo, that's the reality in the university. Doon hindi ko sinasabi lahat. Pero not all are Christians. And of course, most are not non-Christian professors. They will not understand the ministry. Right. Is this large enough? Miguela?
Okay naman.
Okay, sige, let's discuss, no? So far, number 1 could be answered. What are the 3 things we must check to determine whether the P of S2, S of prime, is an isomorphism of a binary structure? Okay, so ano yung, actually may 5 nabanggit pero you mentioned 3 only based on that property. Para ito, hindi ko na gagawing test item to, Micaela, pag na-solve na natin. Ibig sabihin, upon discussion, wala na. So kung ano lang matira dyan, yan na lang yung either examination or your offline activity. Okay, of course, number 1, that is there must be a definition. Now, there must be a defined P of X. Yung P of X tuloy. P of S should be defined. And P must be 1-to-1. 1-to-1, di ba? So there must be 1-to-1 siya. May yung X, kumbaga may counterpart na Y. And then yun namang onto, ganun din. So yung function itself nakapaloob doon sa set, yung sagot, no? Yung sagot doon nakapaloob doon sa set. Kaya yung P of S must be all of S prime. So that's the second one. And then yung pangatlo ditong sagot, yun na yung homomorphism property. Still recall the homomorphism property? Yung kaninang nabanggit natin, P of A asterisk B is equal to P of A asterisk prime P of B. So yung ang classic example natin dyan, yung e raised to x plus y. E raised to x plus y is equal to e raised to x times e raised to y. So that's a classic example of homomorphism property. So these 3, no, 1-to-1, onto, and the homomorphism property all corresponds to the isomorphism of a binary structure. Okay, so yung tatlong yung tatandaan mo. Onto, one-to-one, and the homomorphism property. So this corresponds to what we call the isomorphism of a binary structure, such that S correspond to S prime and its operation asterisk correspond to asterisk prime. Okay? Make sense, Michaela? Though indeed our discussion is highly theoretical, but we cannot do anything about that because that's the nature of our course. It's really highly theoretical. So hindi to katulad ng calculus. Sana marami tayong example na pwede. Here, very limited. Mostly are conceptual. Ayan. So anyway. Okay. Number 2. What can you say about number 2? Comparing now your Z. What is Z? Yung abbreviation natin na ginamit.
Integers.
Integers and a positive operation. With another integer and a positive operation where P of n is equal to negative n. So that's how we define P. So, or for n is an element of an integer. So hindi naman specify dyan na positive integer, but could be integer both positive or negative. So yung P of n mo is actually, so what do you think on the one-to-one correspondence? Is there's a one-to-one correspondence? Kung itatranslate mo yan sa college algebra, that is just f of x is equal to negative x. Ganun lang siya. Or y is equal to negative x. Ngayon, pag plinat mo siya sa graph, Michaela, is it 1 is to 1? 1 to 1? So for every values of x, there's a value of y for number 2.
Okay.
Yes, this is 1 to 1. How about onto? Meaning is all of the answer here are elements. For instance, if you have a negative, say negative m, or yeah, it's still an integer, right? No, so whether it's positive or negative, it's still part of the integer. So therefore, it's onto. It's onto, and you must also pass the homomorphism property. Okay, so you need to have a homomorphism property. Okay, so I'll be giving an example here. So it's really hard to sige, pa-private chat ko na lang sa'yo, Michaela. Access mo naman yung private chat, no? So, ganito yan. So, yung P, yun lang, paano ko i-symbolize yung P? No? Say, F na lang, F. Ayan. So, I will just translate this into a college algebra scenario, no? F of x equal to negative x. So, that's the first expression here. I'm just translating to college algebra, Say, for instance, you would like to have two variables that's of elements of integer, such that f of x plus y based on f of x equal to negative x. What would be the expected value here, Michaela? F of x plus y. if f of x negative x, what is x? F of x plus y.
Wait. Negative
Or x and y are integers, no? Elements of integers siya.
Negative x plus y.
Pakiulit. Anong san doon yung so negative of x plus y ba agad? Is this the right process? Ganun ba? Ganyan ba, Micaela? Or should cluster it into 1? Negative of x. So 1 lang yun. Kaya lang x plus y to. Therefore, yung x plus y, ipapasok mo dun sa loob. Kaya ano dapat magiging ano niya? Yung value ng f of x plus y. Kaya lang.
Now you're almost done with this phase, so...
Ano daw? Hindi ko na-gets. What's your answer? What's the answer, Micaela? If f of x negative x, and then you expand it to negative f of x plus y, ano yung implication niya dun sa kabila, sa right side of the equation?
Kasi hindi ko po masyadong may...
Hindi mo gets o ano? Di ba isa lang yung cluster, negative x? Ayun, not good enough. Ano ba yun? Ano ba yun? Ano ba sinasabi mo? Ayun, negative x, di ba? So, isang cluster lang, treated as one cluster x plus y. Therefore, it's negative of x plus y. Gets mo na.
Okay.
Okay. So, anong susunod dyan? Now, pwede natin laruin yung property nito, negative of x plus y. Pag dinistribute mo yung negative, anong mangyayari?
Negative x minus y.
Could be clustered into negative x plus. Take note, ang operation natin plus. O sa dalawa. Walang nagbago dyan. So, hindi ka pwede gumamit ng minus. So, minus y. Tama ba? Kasi hindi ka pwede gumamit ng minus. Take note, plus plus yun. No, parehong plus. Yung kanyang respective operation plus and then plus din yung respective operation dun sa kabila. Alright? Ano ngayon yung ano ngayon yung negative x? Ano siya? Ano siya? Tingnan nyo. Punta ka dun sa unang-unang expression. Micaela.
F of x.
F of x. So, negative x. So we have here f negative x becomes f of x. Yung negative y, ano yun? Ano yung negative y? Uy, kung f of x yung negative x, ano yung negative y?
F of y.
F of y. Yan. Therefore, anong masasabi mo dyan? It follows that f of x plus y is equal to what? F of x plus f of y. Yun. That is homomorphic property or homomorphism property. Homomorphic property. Ano ba, nabubulol ako. Homomorphism property. Right? Wherein f of x plus y is equal to f of x plus f of y. No? Because ginamit natin yung definition na f of x is equal to negative x, or for this type of problem, p of n is equal to negative n. So pasok yung homomorphism property dito. Right? Pasok sa number 2. All right. Okay, how about number 3? What can you say about number 3? Because what is determined here is it has isomorphism. Okay, can you verify on number 3? So therefore, number 2 is isomorphism. There's an isomorphism of a binary structure, no? Wherein p of n is equal to negative n. Now, because it passes the 3 tests, one-to-one, onto, and homomorphism property. So, can you check on number 3? Michaela, can you do number 3? Or just verbally tell me. You check the 1:1, the onto, and the homomorphism property.
One-to-one pero hindi siya onto.
It's not onto. Why is not onto? Okay, assuming that your p of n would be an odd number. So what do you think? Yung 2n mo hindi na magiging, yung n mo hindi na magiging your p of n is an odd number, your n will not be an integer, right? Tama mo, Micaela? Hindi na magiging integer yon. Kasi kung 2n, say ang p of n mo is equal to 1, and what is 2n? 2n, what will be your n? 2 times 0.5. 0.5 is not an integer. So it's not onto. Though there is one-to-one correspondence, we could see that, but it's not onto. Because n will not be an element of the s. In this case, this is an integer. Okay, make sense? Okay. How about number 4? That your P of n would be n plus 1.
One to one po sa kaon to.
1 to 1 onto. How about the homomorphism property? How about the homomorphism property of P of n is equal to n plus 1? So check, it is yeah, it's 1 to 1. It is onto. You check the homomorphism property. Sige. Sige, guide kita. Palagi kang magsisimula sa f of x o sa f of x mo dyan sa number 4. Number 4, yung f of x is equal to x plus 1. Tama? I-translate mo yan sa dalawang variable. Yung f of x plus y, paano mo siya i-translate? Micaela. Yung f of x plus y. Since given f of x equal to x plus 1, what would be f of x plus y? If you will treat that as one cluster of variable.
X plus 1. Ay, x plus y plus 1? Or...
Okay, tama yan, tama. So that would become x plus y plus 1. Ngayon, paano yung f of x plus f of y? Paano yun? So, of course, f of x would be x plus 1. Tama ba? What would be f of y? If f of x equal to x plus 1, what is f of y?
Next one, item. Item.
Di pa siya y plus 1.
Y plus 1. Tama yung y plus 1. Therefore, what is f of x plus f of y? Ano siya?
X plus y plus 2.
Yan. So, it is equal to x plus y plus 2. Are they equal? With f of x plus y?
Hindi pa.
Equal. Therefore, it failed the homomorphismic property. O yung property of homomorphism, it does not. So, therefore, number 4 is not an isomorphism. Okay? Now, number 5 is your first take home. Take note. Number 5 is your first take home. Ayan. Number 5. I will skip on number 5. Okay, how about number 6? What is Q, by the way?
Rational numbers.
Okay, rational numbers, no?
So let's take a look.
So yung Q, rational number. So magkakaroon ka dyan ng, so pareho lang siya. Multiplication to another multiplication, no? So, ganun pa rin yung procedure natin. So, yung f of x times y is it equal to f of x times f of y? That's the homomorphism property, but you should also check the one-to-one and the onto property of that, such that f of x is equal to x squared. So, it follows ano natin dyan? What can you say about that? Is it isomorphism?
Hindi po.
Bakit?
Hindi siya one-on-one.
Next,
Tsaka,
ignite. Ignite.
hindi po siya one-on-one. Correspondence.
Alright. So, kung one-on-one,
Or onto po pala. Hindi siya
onto.
onto.
Possible na hindi onto, no? So, may mga elements na hindi onto. So, ganun, kahit di din natin ma-check yung homomorphism property. Basta isa lang ang ma-violate doon, di na siya isomorphism. Alright? Sige. Okay, 7 is another take home. Take note, 5-7. Yan, 5-7. Alright. So, wala si Dale, no? Is Dale, online?
Hindi po.
Wala kayang way para makapag-communicate si Dale, no? Kasi kung palaging nawawalan ng network, no? At meron siguro dapat yung alternative, both smart bag, Lob, nalalaglagan signal. Sa lugar
Hindi
nila.
ko lang po alam.
Oo nga, dapat, pag ganyan ng ganyan talaga, dapat meron ka ng way, may ways and means ka ng Like in my case, pag bumagsak fiber ko, may sasalong broadband. Parang ganun. Meron kang alternative. Kasi nagiging regular na siyang issue. Dapat may regular solution ka rin dapat. Kasi all throughout, I've been with Dell for 3 semesters already. So there are consistencies on saglit lang, I have a call, Miguel, wait for a while. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so dalawa na, no? 5 and 7, Micaela? 5 and 7, no? That's part of your take home. So number 8 tayo. So yung M2, ibig sabihin yan 2 by 2 matrix. 2 by 2 matrix with a real number. Multiplication. Onto a real number. No? So ibig sabihin yan where P of A is the determinant of A matrix. So yun yung tinatanong dito. So kung titingnan natin sa real number, what do you think? Is it onto? Could be 1-to-1 correspondence. Your 2 by 2 matrix could have a determinant. But how about onto?
Additional.
Ano po number 8 po?
Number 8.
Hindi ko po maintindihan yung statement.
M2 is a 2 by 2 matrix of a real number. M sub 2 is a 2 by 2 matrix. No, meaning any real number could be created in 2 by 2 matrix comparable to the real number. So pag dinefine yung P of R, P of A would be the determinant of matrix A. So meron kang so lahat naman ng determinant, no, except for some, ayan, kapag ang discriminant mo ay equal to 0, ayun, may violation na pala. Hindi na siya agad kasi the determinant sometimes cannot be solved. So meaning it's not on the realm of the real numbers. So that's one. At so there's no 1-to-1 correspondence. So kasi may mga exception to the rule, no? There are exception to the rule. Lalo na kapag pareho yung yung double entries, no? Yung tinatawag na double entries. Halimbawa, 1010. Halimbawa, ipakita natin yun sa dito sa ating MATLAB. For instance, matrix A is a 2 by 2 matrix, so has okay, ganyan. So depth of A 0. So pasok pala, no? Meron siyang 0 determinant. So it could be, there's a possibility. Pag 3 by 3, yan, 0 pa rin. So possible pala, no? Your P of A is a determinant of matrix A. So yung determinant. Unless may kailan may paano kang exemption. Exemption to the rule. There are exemption to the rule. Ang check natin dito siguro yung homomorphism property. Yung homomorphism property niya. That your f of A and B is equal to det determinant A times determinant B. So yun yung tinitingnan natin. Or we could solve first the product of the determinants. So whichever is the case, no? So yung f of A, yung determinant AB, halimbawa, sige, bigyan natin ng ano to. That's your A, and then you have B. Okay. Yung det of A times det of B is equal to 0. How about yung det of A times B? 0 din. So, pasok siya sa homomorphismic homomorphism property. Kaya lang, it may fail on the one-to-one. Na one-to-one correspondence. No, because it's not automatically, no, kasi nga, definition P of A is equal to determinant of matrix A. Though homomorphism property, pasok pala, no? So, hindi siya, so perhaps you could think of an exemption for number 8. So, kapag minultiply pala yung det A, baka naman yung det A is equal to negative 2. Yung det B, kaya pala 0. Pag ang B natin, ibahin natin. Kasi kaya pala 0, no? Baka hindi dito. Det B, si 3. So, ang sinasolve natin, determinant of A times B is 6. Determinant of A times determinant of B, negative 6 pa rin. So, homomorphismic siya, no? So, meron siyang homomorphism. But the problem is the one-to-one. One-to-one correspondence of a 2x2 matrix. Okay, let's move for a while to number 9. Micaela. This time is an M sub 1, matrix 1 by 1 of a real number. Ayun, CR. Sige. Sige lang, go ahead. Okay na, Micaela?
Okay na po, sir.
Okay, let's look at number 9. So this time, mas madali to kasi 1 by 1 matrix. Isa lang yung element niya. And it's treated as the determinant in itself. Kaya kanina, hindi pwede yung 2 by 2. No, hindi pwede. Halimbawa, puro 2 yun. 2, 2, 2, 2. So hindi ibig sabihin, pag kinumpute mo yun, hindi na siya yung determinant of 2. It should be the determinant of the 2 by 2 matrix. So magkakaroon ng inconsistency for number 8. But for number 9, since this is 1 by 1, so whatever the element is the determinant itself. Kaya yung P of A is the determinant of A. So may 1-to-1 correspondence siya. No? So that number 9 would be an isomorphism. Now number 10, I will leave that to you. So 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 10. No? 5, 7, 10 is a take home. Okay, we will look some calculus problem here, no? On F would be the set of all function F mapping R into R that are derivative of all orders, no? So we have gone through this. Let's apply some calculus, no? Here, so we have the function that is into mapping into another real number that has both positive operation, wherein the f of x or the p of f is equal to f prime, the derivative of f. Yan. So, yan yung makikita natin dito. Okay, what can you say? Is it isomorphism? Micaela, as you observe.
Good job answering. For the last number, I'm just asking for you to write.
What can you say about the
F-prime po ba ito, sir?
yung derivative of a function? Is it will produce homomorphism or isomorphism in general? I-check nyo muna yung 1:1. Is it 1:1? 1:1?
Opo.
Is it not? Why? Bakit hindi
F-prime po
siya...
ito, sir, di ba po?
Come again. Bakit hindi siya
F-prime
1:1?
po. Tama po ba?
Yung F prime. say you have f of x equal to x squared plus 1. So you have, what would be your f of prime of x? Michaela.
2x.
2x. What if I have another f of x sub 1, which is equivalent only to 2 x squared? What it will be the f of prime of x sub 1?
It's a bit
2x din.
2x. So anong point doon? Hindi siya 1 to 1. Hindi unique function na may the same derivative. Okay? So number 11 won't be an isomorphism. Okay? Same as true with number 12 is not also. Assuming that you have this one an integration naman, no? This time, number 12 is more specific. F of prime of 0. Your x is equal, or f, your function would be equal to 0. But what if, even if you're not equating it to 0, the answer is 0? Yeah, so like for the case of f of x equal to sine of x, what is f of prime of x? What's your f of prime of x? If f of x equal to sine of x?
Cosine x po.
Cosine x. Okay, cosine x. So your cosine x, your f of 0, f of prime of 0 is equal to 1. Tama? Pero meron din siyang katumbas na value. What is the other value for that? Yun, nahulog. Oh yeah, what's the other value for cosine para maging 1? May iba pa pang value? No, kasi dito f of prime of 0, no? So f of prime of 0, bali yung f of x mo always equal to f of prime of 0. So possible na magkakatulad yung sagot kasi nga in f of prime of 0 mo. No, so though these are general statement, we could always conclude that way. For instance, tangent 0 is equal to 0. Tama ba? Sine 0 is also equal to 0. So it's no longer unique. What is being affected here is 1 to 1. The 1 to 1 of this function. Okay? Okay, number 13, I will leave that to you. Number 13. Okay, number 14. What do you call number 14? Can you recall that number 14? Can you recall that number 14? That your p of f of x would be the derivative of the integral of f of dt evaluated from 0 to x. Actually, pag in-evaluate mo yan, ano lalabas, Micaela? Yung d of x of the integral of f of t dt when t is equal to 0 up to x. So it's just cancel. And what will be the result? There will be cancellation of the process of differentiation and integration. So at the end, what would be the answer? What would be the answer? For number 14. Ito, pag kinumpit mo to.
Okay, Mika, are you done writing?
Pag kinumpit mo tong ano. This one here. Hindi lang siya ma-highlight, no? Yan. Yan. Pag kinumpit mo yan, anong lalabas?
Hindi ko po get, sir.
Hindi, na-neutralize siya lang, di ba? Yung derivative ng integral. Nag-neutralization.
Kahit, sir, definite siya.
Anong lalabas? Anong obvious na dapat lumabas? Yung x mo, substitute mo dun sa t. That is f of x. F of x lang yun. Therefore, p of f of x is equal to f of x. Ano yun? Parang sa college algebra, translation yan, y is equal to x. Parang ganun lang siya. Alright? So, this must be, there's a one-to-one. No? And of course, there is onto. And I would say that this is also homomorphism. Meron siyang homomorphism. Yung number 14. Halimbawa, yung p of f of 0 would be equal to 0 times f of 0. So, meron siyang mga ganong ano eh. So, of course, this is equal to 0. There is no element of f that is mapped by p into a constant. Teka, mali pala ako, sorry. So, yung f of x mo is equal to your f. So, that's what we call an identity map, in which always an isomorphism of binary structure in itself. No, kasi yung p of f of x is equal to f of x. Parang y is equal to x yun. So it's like a linear, there's a one-to-one correspondence, there's onto, and definitely there is a homomorphism for number 14. Okay, 15, again. Just take note, Micaela, no? So kanina, ano nga ba yung mga items na na-assign? It's 5, 7, and then you have 10.
5, 7, 10, 13 po.
10, 13. Okay, I will assign 15 also. Okay. So for number 16, so i-ano lang natin to, no? So P to be an isomorphism. So we have a map of P from Z to Z, meaning integers to integers, such that P of n is equal to n plus 1. And for n whose element is Z, is a one-to-one and onto to C. Given the definition of binary operation asterisk or multiplication on C, such that P is a isomorphism mapping. Yan. So we could make an example here. So we could identify the binary element. Now the binary element here as defined, that is P of n is equal to n plus 1. So kung n plus 1 siya, so I will start here, Micaela, no? Look at the private chat. N asterisk n. How will you define this, express this in an expression P? I will put it in an f of x format. So f of n, m minus 1 times f of n minus 1. Based on the formula here is P of n is equal to n plus 1. So therefore, if you would like to solve for n or m, it would be P of n minus 1. Okay, take note, Micaela, hindi lang puro positive to, nagkaroon ka ng positive saka multiplication. So there's this isomorphic transformation of your operation from addition to subtraction, to multiplication rather, or asterisk. So pag i-equate natin yung dalawa, so yung transitivity, i-apply natin. So from here, so you have f of n minus 1 times f of n minus 1. So what would be its transition? So pag kinonvert mo siya, naalala mo pa, Micaela, yung conversion, f of m plus n is equal to f of m times f of n. Ito, dali. Yung distribution niya, Micaela, yan. Kasi nagkaroon ka ng conversion from positive to asterisk. Okay, yung second to the last expression, how will you express that into positive terms? Positive operation. Assuming that f of n plus n is equal to f of n times f of n. What would be f of m minus 1 times f of n minus 1? Then kung babalik ka sa addition, given the f of n m minus 1 times n minus 1, how will you express that in terms of plus operation?
What next? Take a quick break. And then you can tell me what you need.
Okay? F of course, f of n minus 1 plus f of n minus 1. Okay, apply the definition, n plus 1. So magka-cancel yun, no? Tama ba? Actually, mali pala ako ng type. Sorry. Mali ako ng type. F of M minus 1 plus N minus 1. Yan, itong tamang yan ang tamang expression. Simplifying further, F of M plus N minus 2. Kasi we are getting the condition for this will become an isomorphism. Ayan. So how this will have an isomorphism? So pag i-equate natin yung dalawa, pagsasanibin natin, no? So such that kailangan maging equal yung dalawa dito. Yung kanina nating expression that your M of N plus N plus 2 is supposedly equal now to M plus N plus 1. Kasi nga, yung P of N o yung F of N mo is equal to N plus 1. Therefore, F of N plus N is equal to M plus N plus 1. Pero nung dinefine mo siya, nung transpose mo from positive to asterisk operation or multiplication operation, ganito na yung nangyari. Nagkaroon ka ng kaibahan such that it will result to F or P of M plus N minus 2. That's supposedly equal to M plus N minus 1. And that is the condition where this function will be isomorphic. That will become isomorphic. Okay? Now, letter B, I want you to have a take home on that, letter B, OBS number 16. Okay. Oh. Tahimik ka, Micaela. So, sayang wala si Dale. Ayoko pa naman bumalik ng topic. Anyway, we're discussing this portion. No? Siguro hanggang dito na lang muna siguro. So, yung B, you take care of B. So far, yan yung mga assign sa'yo. This will be submitted at the end of the midterms. So, mahaba-habang time yan for you to prepare for the midterms. Okay, so perhaps you could just take the exam today for Edu 115 and then some other time for abstract algebra and problem solving. No? So madami pa palang exam. So tutuloy lang natin to. We will be discussing most, or if not all, of the solved problems. Then we will go back to our lecture here. Anyway, mga sample na naman to. No? So few slides na lang to. So magpo-focus tayo on answering some problems related to the concept. So the background reading is you need to read. No, you need to read. Sometimes really hard to understand lalo pag walang conceptual basis, na walang masyadong ganun. So yan, mahirap siyang magets. No, kaya kailangan talaga ng basa-basa pag may time. So since that's the nature of the course, we cannot do anything about that. So, pwede nga tulain na lang tong abstract algebra. Pero hindi siya, it won't be profitable. So it should be dealt with based on the nature of the course, which is more conceptual, more on abstract. That's why it's called abstract algebra. It's never to be concrete. No? Just like college algebra, we could see some practical application. Linear algebra as well. No? But abstract algebra, yan nga, kaya nga tawag sa kanya abstract algebra. Kasi this is more on conceptualization. Alright, you have some thoughts? So far, those are my assignments, Micaela. You will be submitting that before the end of the semester. Or a semester, before the end of the period. So we will just continue discussing this portion here. No, ganun lang tayo. And then, readings na tayo agad. No? Basahin na yung 3-4, 1-4, saka yung 1-5. No, yan. Dire-diretso lang yung ano natin. Pagle-lecture natin on Discord. I hope Dale could catch up. No? I hope Dale could catch up because I cannot really wait for him. Lalo sa course na ito. So, we have many things to discuss actually here, no, as far as conceptualization is concerned.
Sir, tama po ba yung prelims March 8 po?
March
Yung 8. Deadline.
March 9. Make it March 9. Ano ba sinasabi mo? Yung sa atin, 1, 2, 3?
Opo.
March 9. March 9. I don't know with 113 kung anong sinet ko. Basta kung anong sinet ko doon. Pinost ko naman yata sa chat, no? Pinost ko ba sa chat?
March 9 din po.
March 9. Sige. Sabay-sabay na yan. March 9 na rin yung 1, 2, 3. Okay, sige. That's all for today, Micaela. Hope you could read, no? Kompleto naman yung notes na natin dyan. So, kailangan lang ng konting background reading and then you could go ahead in exercises, no? So, though I will be assigning take-home for you, yan na yung part ng magiging midterm examination. Okay? Other thoughts? Before we close for today. So hopefully we could have time for taking the Edu 115. Anyway, I'll be available. Pero na lang kung kasi mamamalengke ako ngayon, baka hindi ko mapansin yung chat mo. So just bear with me, no? Anyway, habang namamalengke ako, dala ko naman yung tablet ko, no? Para yung mga mag-e-exam din makapapadala ko yung quiz code. So everyone has a unique quiz code. You cannot copy the quiz code of the other classmates. Okay, so you have a unique quiz code. Okay, Micaela? So para may time kang ano. So ayan, we have ample time, no? I'm giving 3 hours for that exam. So maximum na 'yon, no? Pwede mo siyang matapos ng less than an hour. Yung Edu 115. Okay? Micaela?
May quiz code din po yun.
Come again. Medyo choppy ka.
Hingin ko na po yung quiz code po ng ano.
Mamaya na pag mag-exam ka na. Kasi orasan na pag binigay ko na orasan na kita ng 3 oras. Gagana na yung relo mo. So at the moment of your exam, saka ako bibigay. Then I will that 3-hour time applies to you. Okay? So perhaps after the class, pag request mo, bigay ko na agad. So papalo na yung oras na. Okay? Sige, let's close in a word of prayer. Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. Thank you for the opportunity where we could start a new lesson in isomorphism and how we could apply this in different number systems, even in calculus, even in matrices, Lord. That we may see its one-to-one correspondence, onto relationship, as well as the homomorphism property. This will be define the isomorphism of one system to another. So help Micaela in realizing this, and Dale also, who need some catching up of the lessons. Also help them on the prelim examination, Lord, that they may answer properly, correctly, all of these exercises that were assigned to them. Help also Micaela on taking the prelim exam for 115. I pray for your guidance, mercy, sufficiency, that you will be done on her. Your will be done on her and her study and her ministry. We thank you, Lord. We glorify your name. This is our prayer in Christ's name. Amen. Okay, thank you, Micaela. See you soon.
The second pattern is NAVN.
Thank you po.
Okay, bye-bye.